everybody! Welcome to my YouTube channel for How to Love a Battered Woman. My name is Nia Renee, and get ready to learn all about me today. So I've been getting questions a lot about who is Nia Renee? What is How to Love a Battered Woman? And how did I get this all started? How did I create this? Where did this all come from? And today you're going to find out. So stay tuned, but first we got it. Okay, y'all. All right, we get into it. My name is Nia Renee. I'm 28 years old. I was born and raised in Denver, Colorado. I lived there my whole entire life up until recently when I decided to get out of there and move over to Texas. So I am a brand new resident to Fort Worth, Texas. So if y'all see me in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Y'all not gonna see me in the streets right now though. Not with the Omarion variant flowing around and roaming around. No, y'all not gonna see me in the streets yet. But anyway, if you see me, say hi. I'm brand new to Fort Worth, Texas. I needed to get out of Colorado because honestly, Colorado was such a trigger state for me. No matter where I went, no matter what I did, it was just, I was triggered every single place that I went. Like my whole entire body was tensed up. And a lot of that trauma came from my past and just the horrendous experiences that I have been through. Especially, it's just so early on in my life as well. So that just made life very, very difficult for me, and I hated it. So I was ready to get up out of there. I was ready to go, okay? So a little bit more about me, a little bit more in depth about who I am as a person and why I decided to create How to Love a Battered Woman, and what really drew me to want to do the things that I do and talk about the things that I talk about daily. So yeah, basically my life really started at the age of 4. That's where my trauma started. I was sexually abused as a child by my half siblings. I was physically abused as a child by parental figures, my birth mom that I no longer have contact with. I grew up, went to high school. Middle school was not the best for me. Once I got to high school, I was unfortunately raped when I got to high school at 15. And I just sheltered myself. I really put myself into a little bubble, and I really made myself the biggest tomboy ever. Like the biggest tomboy. And I would always have tons of clothes on, and I would just always be very kind of hidden because I just didn't want anybody to be attracted to me because I unfortunately was raped. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. I played volleyball, basketball, I ran track, so I was kind of known as the jock. Everybody knew me as the jock because I was really big into sports. I was very, very, very athletic. Unfortunately, I'm not that way anymore, but we'll get into that a little bit later, you know what I'm saying? And then I went into, almost into my, I don't even know, I remember, it was young. I think it was the summer before the summer before I was raped. When my parents split, my dad and my birth mom separated, she tried to kidnap me. She tried to have me kidnapped. I'm going to do a story time on that because I get that question a lot on TikTok, because I kind of foreshadow it a little bit on TikTok. So I'm going to have to do a story time about that. But so the relationship with her has always been very, very strange. Like I stay away from her. That's a story time in itself. So then I went to college and I was playing basketball, and unfortunately I was raped by yet another football player on campus, and he blamed it on the Illuminati. He said the Illuminati made him do it. That might be another story time, but that also might be a little bit triggering. So yeah, we might have to revisit that one. A little bit. Then at the age of 19, I was playing college basketball. I met a guy. He was on the men's basketball team. We fell in love. After I started to get really sick, I started to get very chronically ill. And so I basically had to lace those shoes up, hang them up, put them away. Couldn't play basketball anymore, but he was still playing basketball, and we moved in together. We had I had my first place. We had our first place together, and he was physically abusive. Actually, he was just abusive in general, like verbally, physically, mentally, sexually abusive, all of that. So that was just my really first taste of abusive relationships, and unfortunately, it wasn't my only abusive relationship. But during all of that, I kind of just dug really deep within myself. I've always journaled. I've always been very vocal about the things that I went through. And so before I started How to Love a Battered Woman, it was actually called Angels and Broken. And I started that on Tumblr when I had a Tumblr account. So I started that there. And then it was right before I was physically assaulted by my ex, and I had to flee the state of North Carolina, and I went back to Colorado all within 24 hours. I'll do another story time on that one because that was crazy. It was a lot. So I put that on hold with Angels Unbroken because I was just not in the place. I think it was like I started that around 2014. And I just was not in the right place, the right mental state. I just was not in the place to be able to do that. So I had to stop and really get myself together, because once that situation happened with my ex, I was still in school. I was still getting my undergrad. I was still an undergrad. I was getting my degree in criminal justice. And so I just came home, immediately started working, and then I finished school. And I just was not in the place to be able to, to be able to discuss any of those things and just really like try to help other people and put my story out there. It just was not the right time. And then in 2018, I started to date the very last person that I was going to date. Because I knew that there was something deeper within me that I needed to figure out why I was continuously attracted to all of these abusive men. Not even just men, people, because at the time I identified as bisexual. Now I identify as pansexual. So people in general, like, why am I so continuously attracted to abusive people? So I was in a relationship with him from 2018 until February of 2019. And that relationship took everything out of me. It took so much out of me. And I decided to end the relationship, rightfully so. And with that, I threw myself into therapy. But that's around the time, 2018 is when I started How to Love a Battered Woman. I really wanted to, I just really wanted to teach people how to love a battered woman. Because I was in a relationship with someone that had never been in a relationship with someone who had trauma. And so I was like, okay, how do I get this going? What do I do? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a book. So it started out as the idea of I'm gonna write a book. And then it turned into me having a blog, and I was like, I'm gonna blog my whole way through writing a book. And then somehow I ended up on TikTok, and then Instagram started doing its thing, and then now we're here, you know what I'm saying? But before all of this big stuff started happening, like, I got out of that relationship. I was in therapy, intense therapy, for like a year and a half. I had a talk therapist. I had an EMDR therapist. We can get into that and what that means at a later time. But I had 2 of those therapists, and I was just really, 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 really doing the work on myself. Like, I dove so deep to do the work on myself so that I could really put myself in a place to not only continue to nurture and myself, but to get to my original goal of just wanting to help. If I could just help one person feel less alone and feel less of what I felt just when I was dealing with all the things that I was dealing with, then that's what I wanted to do. And then unfortunately, in 2019, I got my brain diagnosis for Chiari malformation. What that means is, your brain herniates into your spinal canal, and it's kind of like putting a stopper in the sink, and it stops spinal fluid flowing around the brain, and it just created a lot of issues for me. And so I still did all the things that I was doing with How to Love a Battered Woman, and so that's where we are now. So basically, y'all get a bald, traumatized, chronically ill, want to sleep all of the time, and then pops of energy, bald baddie. Like, that's what y'all got. I'm just saying, like, that's what y'all get out of me, okay? It's the trauma. It is the trauma. But anyway, so that's who I am. That's how I came up with How to Love a Battered Woman, and I am just so happy to be able to have the platform that I have now. I'm going to start building it. You know, I did a pre-sale of my How to Love Me journals. I'm going to do a video on that, what it means, what it looks like. We'll talk about that. I've got a book coming out very, very soon called Letters to You, which is it touches a little bit on the How to Love Me journal and that whole entire process. So I just have a lot of content coming for you guys. I have a lot of things coming for you guys, and I love my battered hearts so much. I love you guys. If you didn't know, that's what I call you. I call you my battered hearts. It's a play off of the name How to Love a Battered Woman, and I use a purple heart. So I love you guys so much, and just know that I've got content coming your way. You're going to get to know me. I'm going to get to know you, and then we're just going to do the damn thing, and we're going to be happy, and we're going to be happy and traumatized together. You know what I'm saying? You get me? Anyway, if you don't already, please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. They're all linked on my YouTube page. You can find those. If not, I will drop the @ below in the comment section. Please leave comments. Let me know what you guys want from me, what you want to see, the content that you guys want. Oh, one more thing before I leave. I know I'm talking a lot. Damn it, Nia, get yourself together. I do have a podcast coming you guys' way. Be on the lookout for that. It's going to be raw, unfiltered. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, but please just give me your feedback. I want to know what you guys want to know about me and my situation and what you want to see me talking about specifically. All right? All right, you guys. I love you, battered hearts. And like I always say, take care of yourself, be safe, stay hydrated, drink some water, and don't let nobody's dusty ass child treat you any kind of way. Okay? All right. See you guys next time.